I can't believe I'm saying it, but Doom 2099 is continuing to be a top meta contender. And if you're not prepared for it, it's going to run you over. Welcome to Marvel Snap Meta Shenanigans, where we give you all the information you need to contend on the ladder and optimize your token spend. Additionally, we're giving away a season pass, so stay tuned to learn more how you can win Strife for free. Hey, what's up, everybody? Kicker of Elves here. Hope you are having a fantastic day today. Welcome back to episode 17 of Marvel Snap Meta Shenanigans, the weekly series where we lean on Untapped Premium data and my own opinions to take a look at what are the top decks, what's performing on the ladder so you can know what to play and what to look out for, as well as the performance of the recent Series 5 card releases so you know whether or not you should succumb to FOMO and spend those tokens, as well as the performance of our Season Pass and Super Premium Season Pass card for the season. We then cap things off with a look at our viewer card of the week. If you want to get your card read out on the show and investigated, just leave a comment below saying which card you want to see. The comment with the most likes wins. Additionally, this week in this week's episode, we are giving away a free season pass. So if you want to get out your hands on Strife and all the other rewards that come along with it, like the free Series 5 collector's pack on the web shop, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment with the letter SP somewhere, as well as your Discord ID, email address, X handle, just some way for me to get in contact with you if you do win. And that counts as an entry to win a season pass. If you want more chances to win a season pass, go check out the video from yesterday, Thursday, and Wednesday. Watch those. Make sure you're subbed. Like the video, leave a comment again, same approach with the letters SP in there. That's going to be the keyword I use to search and randomize who wins. And you can get a total of 4 different entries for liking, commenting on each of those videos while being subscribed to the channel. You're not going to win 4 season passes, but that's 4 different chances to win 1 season pass. Pretty good odds. Pretty good odds. Without further ado, let's dive into the show. So this is the first. I always enjoy these first episodes for the new season because meta's volatile. We got a bunch of new cards coming out, and that gives the opportunity to shake things up. Metas come, metas go. Everybody's got their favorite and least favorite metas in the game. One thing you cannot fault Marvel Snap for is being fresh. They are always infusing new cards, and if they hit, changes things up. I say all that, but we're looking at here at the top win rate decks with more than 500 games for player collection level 24,000 plus since the latest patch, which is the start of the season, and looking at players ranked 80 through Infinite Plus. I use rank 80 to filter out anybody who hasn't really started their climb yet or has maybe fallen back. You got to be at least rank 80 to come in here. And if you're looking at the same thing, maybe you've already been looking at this because this has been in the background while I've been doing my my intro and talking through here. Doom 2099 taking both top slots with above 60% win rates, tons of games. This Doom list with Caliban, Drax, Iska has been like such a dominant force for quite some time now. If you had asked me a couple months ago, like, oh, do you think Doom 2099 is ever going to really come back without like a major revert to where like his Doom bots get a base 2 power again? I would have said no way. This is a card when I did my first ever Series 5 tier list. I had an F tier. This was just a joke of a card for so long, but he's really coming to his own here. Both of these lists, like I guess that the major difference here is Aurora and Sandman over Iron Lad and Sandman, Iron Lad over Thing First Steps and Aurora. Pretty obvious that the one without Thing First Steps, sorry Iris, is going to be doing better. I just don't think Thing First Steps is the sauce here. Iron Lad has so many good hits, and Sandman can shut down people who are trying to do Shou-Lao, bounce, just anything that's not playing a big card a turn. And like, I think these 2 decks being at the top, this isn't Star-Lord we're talking about. These are easy to deal with. Their playlines are understandable. They have clear ways to interact and go over the top of them, but it's just wild. It is just wild that Doom 2099 is doing as well as it is. The card, before I go further and talk about some of the other lists here, the card that's starting to come across as a problem to me more and more is Cosmic Ghost Rider. He is the premier tech card of the metagame, and I'm wondering if 5/6 is enough. Like, I would love for them to go hog wild and bring him down to a 5/5 or a 5/4. I think for how cleanly he shuts down literally anything that wants to go over the top of this deck or decks like him. Like he just Shou-Lao, end of turn stuff, Mr. Negative, Man Spider, Cosmic Ghost Rider is a one size fits all answer because realistically any deck that's setting themselves up to go over the top is not going to be able to keep their key combo cards in the back location, and Cosmic Ghost Rider is just a one size fits all solution. I think he might just be a little bit too strong. I mean, that's a hot take. Let me know what you think of Cosmic Ghost Rider, but I kind of think it's time for him to get slapped on the wrist again. He is the only relevant tech card. And some folks might say like, oh, you need tech to keep stuff in check. I was never one of, there's a lot of people and creators who were like, you can't get rid of Shang. And people who want to bring Shang back, which is like mind blowing to me. Shang-Chi being as good as he was over the Tech Apocalypse for like 3 years is like collective Stockholm syndrome. It was never okay for one card to have that much control over the meta. And with him being gone, it's been fine. It's been better than that. That was the best change they've maybe ever made to the game. But Cosmic Ghost Rider is becoming a bit too ubiquitous to the point where, like, even if you're trying to counter ongoing lists, like Cosmic Ghost Rider just kind of does it better than even Enchantress. Deafening Chord went away, like you just went the way of the dodo with getting rid of its afflictive -1 power. But yeah, CGR a little bit problematic here. Let's talk about some of the other top decks here. Classic activate Shou-Lao. This is a fine deck. I am just like overplaying this kind of deck. This does not speak to me anymore. Top players will say that Shou-Lao is the best card in the game and that he needs to be brought down to giving +2. And sure, rotate him out. I still don't think he was as problematic as Star-Lord was, regardless of the stats or the perception of the top 100. Just the unfun factor of Star-Lord was above and beyond anything else here. But I honestly don't see a ton of this list. I'm at 93 right now on my climb, a little sidetracked by Deadpool's Diner and whatnot. But I haven't seen a ton of this list. And again, one Cosmic Ghost Rider goes and shuts down their little activate wombo combo. But Shou-Lao still hanging in there like it's January. End of turn. It's a very good deck for Deadpool's Diner, provided you're not running into the Galactus deck that has been showing up everywhere. But again, this just, if you run into these decks, if you see them play down a Moon Dragon, you're going to lose it. This list completely folds to Cosmic Ghost Rider because you're trying to set up Jocasta and Invisible Woman First Steps in the front row so you can Prodigy them and just pop off, and CGR takes that down. If you're not seeing a lot of Cosmic Ghost Rider, both these decks become phenomenal. Now we're talking about where Strife is coming into play. This Thanos list came from Ika. Very good deck, very, very fun deck. Kind of the opposite. Aurora in here. This is the opposite of the other Aurora Doom 2099 list, where Doom 2099, like, as much as it's kind of a boring deck, this is a very simple list to play in terms of not like simple, not in terms of like, oh yes, it's for the peons who cannot play advanced Marvel Snap. Just like, no, it's straightforward. You play a card a turn, you look at what your opponent's doing and see, would I rather have a Drax or a Caliban on the board? You just make those calls. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just play a card at that cost and go off. And it works. Clearly, it's doing incredibly well. This is kind of the opposite of that, where you are taking tons of game action. You're weighing whether or not you're playing your Valentina card to trigger your Gambit, and if Stardust is needed, and when you're going to play Strife to get the this and that. Like, it's very, very good. I do think you probably lose a Drax to get Fin Fang Foom in here as another target for Strife, but I've enjoyed this list quite a bit. Before I got addicted to the Techno-Organic virus, this was a list I was playing a bunch on day 1 of the new season, so very fun. This like Strife ramp list is very interesting. I don't know who made a video about this or something, or if this was like a I don't know who popularized this, but I look at this and say, where's the Man Spider? And then just to kind of quickly go through here, you got Strife, Dragon Lord stuff with Shang-Chi Master of the Rings. I saw someone say this is Alex Coach's deck. Love Alex, love the Snapchat, been listening since day 1, but I don't know about this one, guys. I don't know. Fastball Special, Star-Lord stuff. Just seeing Star-Lord makes me want to die. And we got to talk about this. This list I saw a post on X from Dexter being like, I'm paraphrasing, sick of Star-Lord, sick of Shou-Lao, and the fact that Strife enables them even more is a bummer. And I think that I resonate with that. I have seen more of this list, not a ton of it, nowhere near as much as the February heyday. Of course, it got nerfed quite a bit. I'm seeing more of this list now than I did in March, which is a bad thing. This is probably my least favorite list across any meta, across any point in Marvel Snap history. This is the worst one. It is disconcerting to see it doing as well as it is. I will say that much. Don't want to be a Debbie Downer for the rest of the episode. I'm glad it's down here at the bottom. I'm glad it's number like 9 or whatever, and it's not up here at the top. But who boy is this unfun to play, guys? It's like Mr. Negative, but or it's very similar to like Mr. Negative or the end of turn list. But with these lists, the big pop off and the big ridiculous going over the top is in terms of like, I'm just gonna have a lot of really big numbers, and that is less odious to deal with and see than the Star-Lord approach, which is like, I've got so much energy that I'm going to completely eviscerate what you're doing by doing 2 Elias and a Fing Fang Foom. So your cards don't even get to go off, and then my cards are big because I've played Star-Lord. I've got his effect 3 times to make Jim Hammond huge. It just, that like, if Mr. Negative and End of Turn are doing the thing offensively, the defensive like shut down, oh, nothing you did work, sorry, is much more frustrating. But there's your snapshot. I think it's wild that we're like, this is, I think, the second or maybe even third week in a row that Doom 2099 is as powerful and as omnipresent as it is. I haven't heard people complain about this deck. I did my little bit about Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm wondering, like, is it time to nudge this card down a bit? But other than that, nothing too crazy. Let's take a look at some of our Series 5 card releases. Last week's Series 5 card release was Rama-Tut. Rama-Tut sitting at a 52% win rate. Barely anybody's playing this card, but it's got a positive cube rate. Now, when I look at these lists that people are playing, and not a lot of people are playing, this is an Arishem card. I did a deck guide on, I believe, maybe this exact list here. I think maybe, Stardust instead of Juggernaut's kind of your call there. The Arishem list here, I think this is the only really legitimate way to be playing Rama-Tut. Rama-Tut is a good card when you play it on turn 3. That's the condition. Rama-Tut is good if played on turn 3. I don't think you need this card. If you are a die-hard Arishem gamer, then, and you've got your, caveat, you've got your Shou-Lao, you've got Merlin, you've got your other big important like meta tentpole cards, then yeah, get Rama-Tut, but you don't need it. It's not, maybe you don't even need him for Arishem, but like that's Rama-Tut's best home. Wolverine Horseman of War, 53% win rate, 2.7% popularity. This card just came out and it is Wolverine, and it's got like the same play rate as like Egypto Kang that nobody knows. And this is a week out after his release. This is looking at just since the launch of the new season. So people had a week to be like, oh, you have Rama-Tut, maybe not. This is Wolverine, one of the most recognizable and iconic Marvel characters, and no one wants to play him. I think this card is just kind of boring. It's doing fine, but at that level of popularity, all of these decks have low game volume, so it's hard to really be invested in the stats. Like, you're playing, like, there's a Galacta deck. Galacta is terrible. Like, Shou-Laoing him, like, why would you ever, like, Maverick is a good backup, or Charlotte Spider and Maverick are kind of the same. Wolverine Horseman of War is not a good Shou-Lao target. I don't know how they do this. Like, this is the second time in the past 5 months that they've released a card that is Wolverine, and it has been bad. I have not started doing my weekend missions, not looking forward to it, but I want to get my token rebate. So yeah, there you go. Speaking of this season, let's take a look at the stats for Strife, our season pass card. 54% win rate with an almost 28% popularity. That's pretty nuts. It's clear this card is very good. and it goes into such a wide variety of decks. They don't really make good like this is like an Iron Patriot kind of card where it can go into a lot of things. It can enable ramp action. It can enable whatever the hell kind of ramp this is. It goes into the Star-Lord list, goes into Thanos, and goes into a variety of different things. And I think that's great. I just do think it is a bummer that it is propping up the Star-Lord deck in any way. But if you're on the fence, if you ever want to spend money in Marvel Snap, the season pass is the way to do it. But again, like, comment with a SP and a way for me to get in touch with you and stay subscribed to the channel, and you could win a Strife yourself. So stay tuned for that. Techno-Organic Virus. Again, for Strife and Techno-Organic Virus, yesterday and the day before's video are reviews of these cards respectively. So if you want to hear my thoughts in depth on them, check those videos out. But love Techno-Organic Virus. Nice, almost 53% win rate. 10.1% popularity is pretty dang good for a super premium season pass card. I don't know the stats on whether or not people just spent tokens on him to get access, because there's been some positive buzz, but this is a really cool card. The top list room right now is, I am probably going to do a deck guide on this because I've just been having so much fun with like the pixie variation of it. But there's the Beta Ray Bill version of the deck. There's it's mostly a lot of pixie stuff. Shou-Lao Werewolf, I believe this is the deck that Derek used to do Day 1 Infinite. The kind of junk Galactus, or not junk, but it's got like Hawkeye and Green Goblin. Techno-Organic Virus, similarly going into a variety of different decks, again leaning towards Patriot, but these are Patriot Pixie style decks. But these are two very good cards. These are two versatile cards. They are not meta warping in the way that like you got like everything else this year is in the shadow of three cards: Star-Lord, Fin Fang Foom, and Shou-Lao. Those are the three like undisputed tyrants of the meta of this year. Even in their nerfed states, I mean, Fin Fang Foom probably got the latest tap, they're still insane. So Strife and Techno-Organic Virus, not on their levels, but propping things up. And maybe we don't want season pass cards to be that strong. Maybe we don't need them to be that all powerful. So let's talk about our viewer card of the week. If you want to get your card read out on the show, please leave a comment below. Comment with or just saying which card you want me to check out. Comment with the most likes wins. To be clear, that is winning to get on the show next week and have me take a look at the card, not for the season pass. That's a separate entry. But this week's vote comes from our boy Beta Ray Bill Lover. Beta Ray Bill Lover eating good with this nice pixie Techno-Organic Virus deck. But he said, in honor of buying the Whale Aurora, I'd like to nominate her for next week's segment. So let's talk Aurora. 6 days ago, I don't think we knew that Aurora was going to be having a little bit of a renaissance. At a 59, rounding up, percent win rate, 11% popularity, Aurora is getting played. And that is in combination to Aurora's getting flexibility in that omnipresent, Doom 2099 list. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do for the thumbnail for this week's video. I might just do a whole bunch of Dooms everywhere, because it's just Doom, 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 Doom. We'll see what actually happens. For those of you that have made it around to the 18-minute mark, you're getting insight into my thumbnail creative process. But it's also going into that popular Ika list, which is featuring Strife. So Aurora is having a moment right now. When she released, it was like, was it end of December, and everyone was like, oh, it's going to be like, she's Thanos. Everyone was rushing to try to make Thanos work. I was excited for Thanos to work because I freaking love Thanos, and it didn't really pan out. So it's interesting now that, 4-ish months later, the top deck right now in terms of at least games played here, most popular decks, is a Thanos Aurora list. But there's so many different like light spins on this, where it's like, oh, we got Merc Cannonball in here, we got Thing First Steps and Drax, we got like Sandman Iron Lad. Like, she is just such a flexible card, really ties together all these piles. Safety Blade, maybe the foremost Aurora player, Safety Blade and Ika. So interesting, very cool card. I'm happy she's getting her moment in the sun. This is the kind of card being good, I feel like is good for the game. Just a nice big 6-drop that buffs all your cards at the end. That has a very healthy play line and is not Eliath being Zola'd and then Fing Fang Foom and Juggernaut going off all on the same turn. It's not that, so it's much better. So thank you very much for weighing in, Beta Ray Bill Lover. Hope you are enjoying your Aurora variant. Now let's take it to the full screen here. For those of you who've made it to the end here, every week we do a little bit of Kicker of Elves lore. We typically go back over here to the wall of trinkets and take a look at something off there. This is just a decoration I have for my YouTube background here, but I've had that there for a long, long time, years and years before I started doing this. So I'm going to head back over to the wall over there of trinkets, and we'll come back and see what we're talking about today. All right, we're back with our goodie to discuss, and we are going to talk about briefly the record hit vibes from one Saint Pepsi. Now we've talked about, I've shared my Macross collection. I am a future funk fan. I'm a fan of city pop. I'm a fan of most things Japan. And hit vibes in a lot of ways, the genre of future funk and vaporwave. Those are genres that sort of emerged in the mid to late 2010s that were, vaporwave, not super danceable, it's a little bit not darker, but just kind of oppressive. You probably heard the Macintosh Plus song, something 420, na, 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 na. And that's good, but future funk's kind of a spin-off from there that's much more lively, much more frankly listenable and just funky, where it involves a lot of sampling from 80s Japanese city pop. I believe Saint Pepsi was kind of one of the very early progenitors of that kind of music archetype, or at least one that bridged the gap between vaporwave, which had a lot of like consumerist imagery, a lot of 80s, 90s throwbacks, and hit vibes was really the kind of thing that started it all in terms of it getting bigger out there. Very simple, very innocuous record. If you want just something to listen to like have a little test theory here, go look up Cherry Pepsi on YouTube, type in Cherry Pepsi, Saint Pepsi, and that is just very enjoyable, very just listenable. Now. And this is an original pressing of Hit Vibes that is worth quite a bit. But I come back to this time and time again. He had moved away from, he being Saint Pepsi, moved away from that kind of music and created an album in 2015 under the artist named Skylar Spence, and never made another thing under that project. That was over 10 years ago now. I love that Skylar Spence album, Prom King. But on that song, on an album on that song, he does a line where he kind of disparages his past as a vaporwave future funk artist, where he said something like, I was working, tried my hardest, slowed some music down, called myself an artist. I remember hearing that being like, you're being harsh on yourself. Like, yeah, people dismiss vaporwave, especially as being like, oh, you just slow down some of these tracks and put like reverb. Like, it's very, like, I could probably make a vaporwave song. I do not have any music making skills in that regard, but I feel like that's harsh. I feel like Hit Vibes especially stands the test of time. One of my personal favorites over there, so much I've got it on vinyl, my little rinky-dink vinyl player back there. And yeah, enjoy yourself. That's one of the songs on here. Just enjoy yourself. I think that is on the Hit Vibes. Now I'm super rambling. So if you made it this far, much appreciated. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope the folks that have made it this far into the video are one of the people that win the season pass. For those of you who have made it this far, I want to make this super public. I am going to do more giveaways later in the month. I've got some of those PAX 2026 codes that have that like really killer Gambit variant. Don't know when I'm going to roll those out, but I want to beginning of the month is when I do the season pass giveaway, so people can, have them for the month and actually use the cards. But I want to give away some of those just randomly throughout the month. So stay tuned. That'll be happening soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out the other video on your screen right now for some more Marvel Snap insight. I'm Kicker of Elves. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.